Folks, how stoked am I to tell you about this camcorder? Well, I'll tell you how stoked I am. I am suffering from a kidney stone, trying to pass one, and I'm in pain, but I still want to tell you about this camcorder because I'm so impressed with it. So this is sort of a first look. I started doing an unboxing, but then my unboxing, some of my video got corrupted, so I couldn't do that. Suffice it to say, this Sony comes in a great new box. This is the AX33. FDR-AX33 to be more specific. Here's the camcorder. This is the first time that at least in my little world, that I've been able to afford a zoomable 4K camcorder. Sony came out with one last year. I think it was the AX100 perhaps, that has probably a better sensor than this one. I'm sure that it does. But it was $2,000. This one, I'm just here to tell you, after going out and shooting yesterday with this, my first day was messing around a little bit with it, and comparing it to the GoPro Hero 4 4K, it's amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So let me tell you, what are the things I like about it? Well, there's a lot to like. For one thing, it is very well made. You know, I'm used to buying Canons like this, which are plasticky and smaller and everything, and no knock on the Canons. The way this thing usually works in the world is Sony goes out and develops these awesome things, and 3, 4, 5 months later, Canon comes out with something that's similar to it, that does the same sorts of things, and costs maybe $150, $200 less. So in the past, since I've been a broke man, I've always kind of stuck with going to the Canon route and just waiting. But this time, I really wanted to go ahead and get, this is the best. This is just so nice and substantial. It's not lightweight. It is probably, I think it weighs 1 pound 7 ounces, and I do have some specs here in front of me that I may be referring to. But so what do you get with it? You get beautiful, beautiful 4K video. When you open it up, it becomes live, as you can see here. There's our video. I'm shooting this. This video is coming off GoPro Hero 4s that you're watching now. So you have a very nice screen. The other thing, see if you see that floating in there. Do you see the lens? Watch that lens as I kind of shake around a bit. That lens floats in there, and that's what is really the big selling point. Apart from the fact that you can zoom really well with this, 10 times optical zoom, and then I think it says 20 times some other kind of zoom they call it. That's not optical, but it still looks great. The 10 times zoom I shot yesterday, I'm going to show you some clips. I'll intersperse those into this video. It works fantastically. Yeah, if there's one slight kick I'll say about this, it's that 10 times zoom, or excuse me, when you're zooming in all the way on it, it might take about 2 seconds for it to refocus. So you might zoom all the way in and be blurry with 1001, 1002, and all of a sudden it comes into focus. You can't knock that too much, though. It just takes a while to interpolate all of its different focus points and then come into focus. So I have no problem with that. Here's the other thing I like. This is smooth as butter, this focus ring right here. And I mean, it is awesome. It can be assigned to so many different things. I'm going to pull back open here. And if you push this button right here that says manual on the front, you can see this, I'm using 2 camcorders, it says manual. So if you push it, you have to hold it for a second. You get this, you see this little thing here? It shows you what your different options are. And as you turn this, I don't know if you're seeing that or not. Maybe I'm too close. But as you turn the focus ring in front, it allows you to pick the thing that you want to control with the focus ring, whether it's zoom or focus, exposure, iris, shutter, speed, AE shift, white balance shift. Amazing. So, you know, like it comes by default to be on zoom. So if I actually want to zoom in on something, like say I'm shooting this, I'll just turn this and it starts a real nice little zoom. What do I think about the video from it? Beautiful. What do I think about the color? Fantastic. Comparing it to the color and quality, you know, the quality on the Hero 4 is very nice. The color is probably not nearly as accurate as this. This is very accurate, beautiful color. I would say it shifts just a little bit more toward the blue when you look at it compared to the GoPro. Let's just take a little quick look at what you get here. You flip the top open here and you get your shoe. And so yesterday I was out shooting with the GoPro mounted on top. So this is kind of what I use to slide that in. And it's just this nice standard type thing. You can mount your GoPro on top. So I did some testing yesterday, so I could show both of them. So you get that. Oops. Over here you have your audio, your AV stuff, right? Once again, you go inside, you've got your place for your SD card. So I'll open that up and I'll pull the SD card out. It does take one of these mighty fast SD cards. This is the kind of thing you need. When you go in, so this is a U3 Class 10 95 megs per second card. This is the Sony brand. This is what I got from BH Photo. They recommended to go with this. So since it's made for specifically for this camera, I thought that was a safe move the first time. So it goes in with the contacts facing this way, so with the notch down. And it seats in there real nice and snug. Clicks in. You also have your night shot mode, which is very cool. You actually got a really good infrared feature with this. I guess it shoots it out this front here, some light that you can't even see. My wife and I sat in total darkness in our bedroom the other night and shot stuff all around the bedroom 12, 15 feet away. And you could see it with this. It's like a stealth mode. We shot in total darkness. We just turned out all the lights. And so I love that about it. The audio is 5.1 channel surround. I don't know how that mic, there's just one mic. I don't know how it gets the sound, but it sounds fantastic. And it's a really good windscreen too. I have some comparisons I can show. With my GoPro Hero 4 has a much improved windscreen on the Hero 4. This beats it hands down too. So much nicer. You might not, unless you're just in the highest wind, even need a windscreen with this. The battery, lithium ion. I bought 2 of them. It actually says ActiForce on these batteries. How much battery time do I get with this? I don't know yet. So I'll have to find out, report back to you on that. But pretty good battery life. And I guess it's going to depend on how much zooming you do, how much night shots. So you're having to shoot an infrared out, beam out. I'm sure there are varying factors. Now, this thing will record. So far, I've only tested 60 meg per second. The new format, let me make sure I say it right. It's a different kind of AVC HD, I think. Let's make sure. Okay, it's called XAVC-S 4K. XAVC-S 4K. That's 3840 by 2160. It shoots 30p. It shoots 24p. So if you want to shoot in 24, I like to shoot in 24 some. Then you can shoot 24. It does also do 1920 by 1080. It actually does that in 60p, 24p. So you've got, if you want to shoot even down to 720p, you can do that. I will say this new XAVC-S format works just fine with Adobe Premiere. I don't know how it will work with other editing packages, but I opened it up just fine in Adobe Premiere and it worked great. Walking and this floating thing here, it noticeably is a lot more steady than what I had with the reason I put the GoPro on top was so I could compare really the action, the motion, to see if I really was getting what I was hoping I'd get out of this. And yeah, sure enough, it gives more of that illusion of walking with a steady cam. And you still have to do your part. You can't just go wobble, flopping around and everything. But if you try to hold it steady, you get a pretty nice steady shot. Now that's moving. The thing I will say is when I'm on something like this and I'm shooting from a distance, when I have hooked up to one of these and zoomed totally in, to say 10 times zoom, and I'm shooting at something, you can always see my hand moving just a little, right? Because my hand is moving. It's just barely moving and you can't even detect it. But on the video, when you're zoomed all the way in, it looks like I'm going back and forth, back and forth. With this one, no. That is splendid. So in other words, I can zoom in full 10 times zoom, and I stood and tested this. And even though my hand I know was shaking just slightly, didn't even see it with this. So that to me, it may be more designed for that kind of thing than it is for just walking around and moving. I will say that it is very smooth to walk around. You're always going to get some of your motion of your body when you're moving, unless you do have a true Steadicam. So that said, the only downsides I saw, slightly slow autofocus when you're zooming all the way in. The other thing yesterday, and I've not tested this to see, are there options for brightening this outside? to me, I had a little bit of trouble seeing the screen in bright sunlight. So, you know, I have that trouble with any camcorder that I have. But there may be some way that you can maybe adjust the screen brightness a little bit. I've not delved into that yet. Just a ton to like about this. A lot to like about this camera. And I think this is the camera that could be used now to shoot a real feature film in 4K. Even though it's only $1,000 or a little less than $1,000 actually. I bought mine through B&H Photo, and so I pre-ordered it. I cut my things together apart here. This is, once again, if you're looking for it in a store and they have it, that is the card that I bought for it. I mean, it comes with a lot of little cool stuff. You know, one of the features I haven't shown you that I think is very cool is this. This is a USB power cord right here that you can use to charge. And the camera comes with this cool thing, which at first I wondered what exactly it was, but now that I've looked at that and realized what's there, this is very cool. So here's an extension cord for that. And you can plug this USB thing into there, I assume. We'll try it. Yes, very nice. And then this could be plugged into a charger in your car, right? Or a RAV power. You know, this is something interesting to test. I have no battery on here now, so you and I are going to enter into this bit of discovery together. Here's my RAV power iSmart, which is awesome battery charger, extra battery pack. I have no battery on here. Let's see if this little baby right here that connects in will power the camera. I'm just curious. So I'm going to go into the 2.4 A on my iSmart here. And you can see here that it's connected up. And I open up. Okay. So it looks like perhaps not will it power the... so I've got nothing here, so that didn't work. However, let's find out this. Okay. Now we're just going to find out, will the RAV power charge the battery? And the answer is yes, the light is on. So your RAV power, if you want to go out into the wild or whatever, it will charge the battery on this. So I'm assuming probably you could still use this as auxiliary power since it is charging this. As we open this up, the battery juice will be coming probably off the battery because I guess it has to have this imprint or whatever on it, right? And then this is charging the battery. So that's kind of a cool thing to have there. And this I'm also sure could connect in. So I'm assuming you would also use the same cord then to connect to a computer if you wanted to as well. Me, when I was offloading the video, I just pulled it off the card. I took the card out and did it that way. It does have HDMI out if you want to go into your standard definition television or your 4K television. It looks like it does convert. Maybe, in other words, if you have 4K video and you hook it to your 1080p television, it will still play it. The other thing it'll do, and I've not tested this yet, but it will record 4K video and 1080p video simultaneously. I don't know how exactly. It may be that it records that in the 60 meg per second mode, and I didn't know that I mentioned this earlier, but it will shoot up to 100 megs per second video. So super high quality. All I can say right now, it sounds good, it looks good, it's very steady. It's not exorbitantly expensive, and it feels super well made. Nothing weird or plastic about it. It feels very professional. You got the Zeiss lens, Carl Zeiss or Zeiss, however you say the guy's name. I always say Zeiss. Oh, I've not mentioned the fact that it actually shoots really good photos. And so I think I shot in 10 megapixel format yesterday, but I think it'll do up to like 20 megapixels. It will do up to 20.6 megapixels. That's 6,048 pixels by 3,400. Yesterday I shot in the 4288 by 2408, which is 10.3. I have sampled those on my computer. How do they look? They look great. And of course you zoom in, it's like having a really good camera with a telephoto lens. You zoom in and it's just as sharp as it is when you're zoomed out. Folks, love it. I'm going to be putting a lot of samples. I'm going to test the Wi-Fi at some point with the app. You can control multiples of these, so if you wanted to buy 5 or 6 of them and do a crazy, multi-camera type shoot, you can do that from your mobile device. Sony 4K zoomable FDR-AX33. What's not to love? So, peace to all who watch. Thanks. Stay tuned. Subscribe if you like. I'll tell you more about this. If you have questions about it, please give me send me a message, an email, one way or the other. Go to TonyLeeGlenn.com or just here through YouTube. I'll be glad to try and answer any of your questions about this really nice new camera.